It's Friday. Where's the week gone? I don't know. If you feel like me, you know that the week has just kind of come and gone like in a blink of an eye. And here we are, and it's already Friday, and it's a very special Friday for Good Luck today because we have released a brand new single, Rum and Cola, which, to be honest, if you actually think about it, is completely out of place for the vibe of what's happening at the moment because, you know, we're not allowed to drink, we're not allowed to party, we're not allowed to dance, and this song is just basically 100% all about having a good time, grabbing a rum and cola and just kicking back and living a chilled, carefree kind of life. But I will tell you this, it does make you happy and it does make you smile. So hopefully, even though it might be a bit out of place, you'll still enjoy it. And I know somebody who's enjoying it is Spotify, because today we actually had the most insane news. We made the front cover, I don't know if you can see that. There we are. The front cover of, in the front, let's see, there we go. New Music Friday. We're on the front cover of New Music Friday on Spotify. So thank you so much to Spotify for having us and for featuring us. It's a big honor and a big achievement. We're very, very proud and very stoked, guys. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please do go and stream it. It's live across all of our channels. And if you need the link, you can head to our Instagram at Good Luck Live, click our bio, and you'll see the link right there to go and stream it live. Trust me, it's going to make your day just a little bit happier, a little bit more fun and free. And we've got a action-packed lineup today. We've got just some great music guests. We got some local Cape Townian guests. And then we have the big dog, Gareth Cliff, who's going to be joining us today. And he's obviously been quite vocal about the lockdown in the last few weeks and months and has some very interesting points and is, you know, a very acclaimed radio personality. So we're going to be chatting to him. And I'm sure a lot of you are excited for that interview as well. And then before we get started, though, I wanted to just kind of hark back a little bit to what happened last week, or was it the beginning of this week? I don't know. It's all kind of blurring into one a little bit. But one of our awesome viewers and fans, Troy Faree, he went out on, we put out the sandwich challenge to everyone. We said, guys, you know, we've been working in Vrygrond. We're seeing a lot of desperation. People are queuing every day, 3 hours a day sometimes for a meal. And what we really want to do is challenge everyone to make a sandwich so we can go into the queues and give them something to eat while they wait. Because these are a lot of these people are only getting one meal a day, and this is the meal that they're getting. So we put a sandwich challenge out to you guys, and Troy Faree just took that to like the next level, just took it through the stratosphere, and he made 287 sandwiches. So we wanted to play this video for you again because we did play it last week, but we got cut by Facebook. So this is Troy Faree's sandwich challenge. Such a king. Thank you so much, Troy. You're doing so much good out in the community, and this is what you did for us with the Lucky Ones group.
Myself, my wife, my mother-in-law, friend of mine, Robert Dawson, the Bafooters. We made 282 sandwiches to feed the people in Vrygrond, and we're going to continue to do so as long as we can.
Oh my word, guys, look what Troy did! He did all these pollonis. They look delicious. A polony sandwich. I want one. I still want. We're just driving to where Rainbows meet. I've just shortened it to Rainbows. It's quite a tongue twister. And we're taking 287.
So what happens to the rest of us when the ice is melted?
Sandwiches to where Rainbows meet. Everyone's already queuing up for now.
What happens when we've lost control and nobody cares enough to come and save us all?
Finally, the sandwiches are found their home in this lovely community. Thank you so much, Troy, for all your amazing support of this organization.
Then broke her silence. See, now we're in a global crisis. So what happens to the rest of us when the ice is melted, cities fall and turn to dust? What happens?
Troy, it's so nice to see you those sandwiches making everyone so happy. They can eat something while they're in the queue. And it's just wonderful to see everyone making such a difference in the country.
What happens to the rest of us when the ice is melted, cities fall and turn to dust? What happens when we've lost control and nobody cares enough to come and save us all?
Oh, that gives me all kinds of warm and fuzzies. Thank you so much, Troy, for doing that. 287 sandwiches, that's outrageous. And you managed to rally your community. You managed to just get everyone in your whole community to, just get behind what you're doing. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. So listen, we've got a very, very special guest now, and somebody that I have been, that we've admired for a long time. And I heard some news the other day, and I was just like completely blown away, because time flies, and it's outrageous. But did you guys know that Cliff Central, as of a couple of days ago, is 6 years old? And that is wild. That means Gareth Cliff was on 5FM before that, 6 years ago. So I don't know where the time has gone, but happy birthday to Cliff Central. And on the line, we have the man himself, Gareth Cliff. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Awesome. Yeah, I think this lockdown has got all of us thinking about the important stuff, huh? I loved that that sandwich handover. That's really special.
It's awesome, hey, just seeing people. I mean, and Troy just kind of took it upon himself to initiate that, and it's a wonderful thing that and he's spreading it around his community. He's actually like rallying his entire community now to make sandwiches. So it's a wonderful thing how goodness can spread. I agree. But Gareth, listen. Okay, first of all, it's very weird that I'm interviewing you, because you must have interviewed me at least 5 times in your life. So this is kind of the tables have turned a bit. So it's interesting for me to be doing this. But I wanted to just say, you've had this incredible career, and obviously it started out on commercial radio on 5FM. Before we talk about all the things that you've been doing with the lockdown, I just want to hark back to those times and the switch from commercial radio to digital, and your own show, your own enterprise. What has that been like? Have you experienced more freedom? Do you feel more kind of yourself now? Well, now that you've been doing it for 6 years, are you more comfortable in that space?
I think that what we decided, and I say we because it was me and my business partner, Rena, we decided 8 years ago already that this was obviously the way to go. We didn't know that we'd be sitting in lockdown one day where the only option would be to do stuff digitally, right? But I think radio has kind of plateaued over the last few years. I realized when we were on 5FM that we had the biggest audience for a morning show in that station's history. We had lots of money coming in, so it was successful. And that's the best time to decide to make a move. Yeah, it was massive. And that was the best time to make a move, because if you leave when things start to go down, then people go, oh, well, he's jumping ship.
Yeah.
And if you leave before you've reached your peak, you still have things to achieve.
Absolutely. And suddenly
I don't miss it at all. I love what we're doing. Sorry, I love what we're doing at the moment. And it was... it was a portent of what was to come, and I'm very, very proud of where we're at 6 years in.
You've done amazing things, and I think what was really kind of for me in the moment of when you transitioned, obviously we were sad to lose you to commercial radio where a lot of our music is played and all that. I think I knew you were making the right move, not only because obviously digital streaming is taking over and has been continued to take over, and now is certainly taking over in a big way, but also because suddenly you had the freedom to really speak your mind. And I think there were certain restrictions and rules that you had being on a national broadcaster that wouldn't have allowed you just to be who you are, and you've become somebody who really stands up for a lot of values.
That's the cool thing about freedom of speech, is it isn't just about me having my say and me being able to truly exercise my freedom, because how do you really know you're free if you can't say what's on your mind? But it's also having a place where other people could do that, where people didn't have to feel that a show would be cancelled, or that they wouldn't be able to have certain conversations, or that certain stuff was off limits. Yeah. I just think that that's insane. If you consider the world we live in now, that sounds so backward. But at the time, that was the norm. And what we were doing was just, I suppose, going with what everyone else in the world is now thinking. So we've just the world is caught up to us rather than the other way around.
I love that.
I don't know, Gareth. I think. Hang on, let me just get into frame.
Yeah, man.
There we go. I think you are kind of a bit of an anomaly in that you're responsible. You know, most people aren't responsible, and they're going to go onto the platform of the internet, the freedom of the internet, and say things that are egregious, say things that are factually incorrect, things that are inflammatory.
But that's good. That's good. That's good. We need. No, it always is, because the alternative. No, it's nothing to do with me, because the opposite, the alternative to what you're proposing is unacceptable. That certain people should talk and other people should not. I mean, that's the very definition of elitism. No, but I would rather have, what I'm saying is, everybody's so worried about fake news these days, and everybody's so worried about hate speech and about offense and all of that stuff. But the reality is, if we don't have the people who make the mistakes, we also don't have anything to rally against. We also don't have any measure for how good or bad we are. And it's essential that the dirty, dodgy, dangerous people are allowed to expose their views to sunlight so that we can see them for what they are. If they don't, it drags those conversations into even more dangerous places where they can ferment and become a real problem.
That's an incredible point. I think that's spot on. And you know, one of the things that we saw of yours recently, which was highly entertaining for a number of reasons, was the big debate on your letter to the president. I think everyone was talking about that for quite a few days. Still talking about it today.
You had a question that you thought that Gareth should have asked in that forum, didn't you, Jules?
Oh, what about the hair?
Yes.
No, I just thought it was funny because the next day on your blog, I saw you'd interviewed a hairdresser or hairstylist who, obviously, I mean, their industry's been hit very hard by this lockdown, probably one of the most hard hit industries in the lockdown. And then I just went straight back to your interview, and I was like, I think Jamil was getting his hair done. You should have just like ended the discussion on that point and just called him out on that. But anyway, I think, you know, what was interesting for me to see, you know, I think that was a frustrating discussion for you. I could see you were getting frustrated because I suppose a debate is supposed to be mediated in a certain way, and it did feel a little bit one-sided from the mediator, in my view, anyway. And
who has she's since apologized, by the way. She's already said she was very sorry. Reedy Clubby has apologized.
Okay.
Yeah, I like her too. And the only reason I agreed to go on a show, like, I mean, I don't need TV in my life. The only reason I agreed to go on that show was because it was Reedy, and I have a lot of respect and time for her.
Yeah.
But it felt a bit like a setup, and I also think we've got into this disgusting habit in this country of setting people up to represent groups where actually an individual citizen's voice is perfectly acceptable. You don't have to bring a mandate from anyone else. If Jules thinks that X is good. You know, no, it's not. I mean, this is to me, the sad thing is, like, we can't have a conversation like people who treat each other like equals, because you need to have a mandate from your people and I need to have a mandate from my people. And that's a ridiculous premise to start any discussion on.
Absolutely. You know, I totally agree, you know, and I was actually thinking about this the other day because I saw this little white boy. He was, well, little, maybe he's 12 years old, but he fully identifies as a Zulu guy, and he speaks the language and he dances. You must see this kid. He dances. He does he gets into the get up and he dances like a traditional Zulu, and he's in that culture, and that's what he wants.
And he's embraced it. Yeah.
He's embraced it. He's fully embraced it. He speaks the language as well, if not better than, you know, someone who was raised Zulu. He's really obsessed with the culture, and that's what he wants to be. And I was thinking, at first I laughed and I chuckled. I thought, this is ridiculous. But then I was like, no, this kid is amazing, actually. How many hours must he have spent dedicated to learning this, and why can't he be a Zulu if he wants to be? You know, if he really wants to be Zulu. And I mean, I don't know. Do you agree with me on that point? Or
absolutely. I think that we've just got to be careful that we don't skirt too close to the idea of, you know, cultural relativism and the idea that you can be anything you want to be in your head. You know, there's that woman in America who was a white woman who identified as black, Rachel Dolezal, and she was not a serious human being. You know, she was embarrassing white and black people, frankly. And I think we've just got to be careful that if something is a a genuine, like I love Zulu history, for example, and I studied during primary school. I mean, I was obsessed too. I went to a place called PeZulu because we lived in KwaZulu-Natal. I learned a lot of the language at that point. I learned the genealogy of the Zulu kings. I studied Shaka and Dingaan and Mpande and those people like it was the back of my hand. But I knew deep down inside, although I lived in that province at the time, it was not my heritage. You could still respect and love it. I mean, if you're interested in Native American shamanism, you're allowed to have an interest in that, but it doesn't mean that you're a Native American. And I think we've got to be careful to also respect people. Yeah, absolutely. Not patronize people by saying, well, I'm going to just take on whatever I want out of your culture, and then it seems almost cheap.
How do you feel about celebrating it, though? I mean, how do you feel about a white kid in South Africa getting into the Zulu, you know, the traditional wear and dancing the dance? It's
fine. Do your thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I agree.
Do your thing. You do you.
I think it's fantastic.
You guys are musicians, right? And you know that all music is about taking the influences around you, the things that turn you on, that excite you, that give you passion, that give you a reason to wake up in the morning, that inspire you, and throwing them together with other things that are completely unrelated some of the time. I mean, the fusions of music that we've seen in the 20th and 21st centuries are directly as a result of a kind of cultural appropriation. And it's a good thing because it's produced amazing new genres of music and it's brought people together. And I don't see how that could ever be considered a bad thing.
No, never. It's become more of a universal language, I think, than any language, any spoken language. You know, and you're right, it does bring people together. And I think it's one of the reasons why we get so addicted to doing it. I have a question for you about the lockdown and you know, your views. I know you have some very strong views on where we're sitting at the moment and what should be done next. And I didn't want to get too heavy on this subject, but I actually think it's important. It's important because I very much agree with what your stance is, and I'd love you just to share how you're feeling about where we're at and where we should be heading to. What you think the solution could be.
Well, I'm going to keep this very brief because I don't want to sound like a politician, and I don't like politicians. I don't trust them, any of them. Yes, but yet they're the ones that people are turning to because they're afraid. Yeah. So there is this false equivalence being presented to us at the moment, where if you are against the lockdown, that you somehow don't care about people dying. Nonsense.
Yeah. Nonsense.
The number of people who are going to die because of economic deprivation, starving, as evidenced by those people lining up and you having to hand out sandwiches to them, these are people in dire need. They're not going to die from COVID, they're going to die from hunger and starvation and from poverty. And they will far outweigh, in terms of actual accounting of lives, the number of people who will probably die of COVID. So having said that, it's not a debate about who's good and who's bad. And opening the economy is not a bunch of heartless capitalists who want to just get back to business. These are people who actually understand that the fabric of society is made up of people being able to voluntarily trade with each other, being able to offer their services to each other for a fee, being able to decide where to send their children to school, what food to buy, where to move around. Our basic liberties have been restricted now for 7 weeks. And there are people who are going, yay, the president, we support the president. And they seem wholly and completely incapable of conceiving the world outside their privileged lives, where ordinary people are starving, living in one-room shacks. And, you know, I've never appointed myself, as per our discussion earlier, a spokesperson for anybody. But it seems to me that the very people who seem to be telling us that they care for the poor and giving 350 Rand grants, I mean, 350 Rand, how long is that going to feed a family of 4? They are the people who we should be, precisely, they're the people who we should be extremely skeptical of. And we should be interrogating this from a basis of fact and evidence. And the facts and the evidence around COVID is that lockdown has done no particular good in any place that it's been instituted. There hasn't been a flattening of the curve. So all of it was for nothing. And what we've done is, apart from keep the number of deaths exactly where they would have been, because they're coming, there's no cure. Yeah. There's no vaccine on the horizon.
It's a pandemic. So like, the people, this happens every so often, and the world does it probably for a reason. But yeah.
The people who were going to die from COVID are still going to die from COVID, regardless of the lockdown. It's not curing or saving anybody. That we've got to be clear about. But what we've done to compound the problem is we've now also put people in enormous economic distress. We have to have meetings with our staff about salary cuts. There are companies that have already gone under. Unemployment is going to go through the roof. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer this morning and put everybody on a negative trajectory, but we need to get back to work. People in this country are hardworking, intelligent people who know what they need to do to make a living. And we've got to give them that opportunity.
Couldn't agree more. I'm so glad that you said it so succinctly. And Ben, do you have a question for him? Or
Yeah, I mean, look, because as you said, it's not all about all just doom and gloom. It's got to be about what the steps are that we take moving forward. And I think, like, we've obviously, I was talking to a friend of mine about this yesterday. He was just like having a meltdown over the phone to me about where we're at and what the future looks like and how we're going to deal with this as a society. And it doesn't take away the moral perspective of the loss of life. We're all in this together to try and find a way to stop that. It's not like our medical professions are not doing everything they can to find a cure, but if the cure is worse than the disease, then we've got this thing upside down. So I was just saying to him, look, the only thing that we can all do is use our usual South African makaplan abilities that we're so good at. I think it's a remarkable thing about South African people that around the world we're renowned as these guys and these women who can
not freak out.
You can not freak out, but can also make something from nothing.
Yeah.
In the worst of situations, we are the best at developing and inspiring and striving to create. I don't want to say positivity because that's just like ethereal. Like we're really good at making solutions to problems that seem insurmountable. And what do you say to someone out there who's an entrepreneur? You've cut yourself out of an industry that would never ever historically have let someone kind of go on their own, and you've done an amazing job to be an entrepreneur in an industry that normally doesn't support that. What is your advice for the youngsters out there?
They're still not supportive of me. Radio is happily, I'm pleased to say, radio's ratings are slipping down the toilet as predicted, and podcasting is growing enormously. We've doubled our audiences in the last 2 months. Yeah. Obviously, revenue has not gone the same way because things are tight, and we're gonna do whatever we can to fix that. But I would say, if you have an idea, put it into action, even if your idea is terrible. At this stage, there is a perfect bed of fertile ground for all of us to try what we've always wanted to do. You've got nothing to lose because chances are you've already lost everything. This is exactly the time where you get to test your mettle, test your product, test your idea, test your service, and don't be too proud to do stuff that you might not have done before. I might have to become a plasterer or a bricklayer. You might have to become a garden refuse collector. You don't know that that's the worst job in the world, and you could make a lot of money out of doing that. And there is nothing unglamorous about being able to do hard work. And people have got to get back to the point where we value and we appreciate those who work the hardest, regardless of whether their jobs are in the entertainment business or whether they're rich and powerful politicians or they own a social media platform. None of that stuff is important.
I mean, cheapers, my domestic worker is my new hero in my life. Just having to run a business and still do. I mean, I've realized how much work it actually is. It's a huge amount of work, and I think,
maybe we'll appreciate teachers. Maybe we'll appreciate teachers and policemen and nurses a little bit more after this.
Totally.
I think there are a lot of moms out there who have suddenly realized how incredible that job is. And actually, I saw a post of a friend of mine who lives in Mauritius, and she was saying she's actually been like kind of sitting in on her son's lessons and been so inspired by how incredible his teacher is. And it's kind of like reawakened this whole like learning curve. So I think there's some new heroes out there that we need to start celebrating. rather than just the
Absolutely.
Instagram celebrities.
Gareth, I'm watching the clock for you because I know you have a 10 o'clock meeting, and I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and agreeing to be part of it. It's like come full circle for us because we've enjoyed many interviews on your show, and we love what you're doing. I mean, I know
Thank
a lot
you.
of people are commenting here saying you should run for president. I know you hate politics, so you probably won't, but keep being a voice for championing the causes that you cause, championing the underdogs, championing
Just like I agreed to do that debate only because Reedy was there, I agreed to do this because I love what you guys do, and I can't wait for us all to party again. We've had some amazing times together, and I just love everything that you guys have created, and I keep listening to your music during lockdown. It's keeping me happy, so thank you.
Oh, you're an angel. We love you very much too, and thank you so much. Everyone's sending such big ups for
Thank
you
you.
and all the good work you've been doing. Keep your voice behind the lockdown.
Keep being brave.
Keep being brave, dude. You will. I know you will. But lots
Thank
of love.
you.
Thank you for coming on the show. Mwah.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the wonderful Gareth Cliff. I'm a big fan of his. I think he speaks out in the right way. He's super educated and very, he's very, how can I say, he's well read. So he doesn't form his opinions just kind of like that, I think he definitely does a lot of research before he decides what he's going to say and put his voice to. And a lot of people can misconstrue that for negativity. I know he has had a bad rap in the past, but I think he is championing some really good thought and change and starting some really good dialogue and conversation. And we need people like this in the world. If we don't have people like this in the world, what do we have? Sheep, which is not ideal. I was so engrossed in that, I don't even know what's coming next. I probably have to check. I think we have, what do we have? Oh, do we have Kim Kallie banner coming up next? Very exciting, very, very excited. We have one of South Africa's most iconic female singers. She came straight out of the 80s, and she was, I think I'm hearing myself while I'm hearing her video. Oh, there we go. She was, massive in the 80s. She went under the artist name of Kim Kallie, and a very, very accomplished performer with over 40 years of experience in music, theatre, entertainment. She is now taken her craft and she is using that to actually help others. She's looking after kids who want to learn to sing, and she started the Kim Kallie Performance Academy, and she is now vocal coaching some of the biggest upcoming rising stars through Cape Town, and has a whole new approach of how she's been teaching. But before we get on to her interview, we want to play you a quick little video, which is something she made with her students. I think you're going to love this.
March 2020 began with a crisis. There was a new ailment called coronavirus. We've all found ourselves in an upside-down world, locked down this prison in which we've been hurled.
Board games and marbles and obstacle courses. Out the box thinking is something this forces. I'm missing school, can't get out of the house. I'm starting to feel like my pet hamster mouse.
Cough drops and nose spray and tissues in mittens. Keep us safe, please, let's not get any sniffles. Family time snug as a grape on the vine. Things we hold dear will change soon with the times.
When I wake up and my throat's sore and I start to sneeze, I start to fret and I start to sweat, 'cause I think that I have COVID-19. Lockdown is annoying and driving me crazy. Lying in bed all day's making me lazy. Reading 2 books is a wonderful thing. These are the things that this lockdown can bring. Families gone mad, we're all drawing on walls. Painted the house and all of the doors. Procrastination is what it is called. I'm lying in bed and I'm totally bored.
Virus on radio and panic on TV. Everyone's scrambling to make lockdown easy. Shops out of basics and wine out of bounds. These are a few of the COVID craze sounds.
On the news tonight, Cyril's lengthened our flight. A few weeks extra to go. We've watched so much TV, getting fat is so easy. I wonder what it's like
On the
outside.
sneak past my parents, can't bunk my lectures or ignore my errands. Stuck in my house, sadly weighing my gain. This came from cheese curls and cheaping champagne. Minecraft and sketching and time with my parents.
Oh, there we go. That is the Kallie Performance Academy. And on the line, we've got Kim herself. Hello, Kimmy.
Hello, Jules.
Hello. You look nice and fresh this morning.
It took lots of work. I'm in lockdown.
Well, listen, I can see that you and your Performance Academy have adjusted to the lockdown crisis, and you guys are making a plan, as we were saying before in the Gareth Cliff interview. How has it been for you? What was the decision to kind of, I presume you've taken your courses online. How has the transition felt? Just tell me, you know, these wonderful singers, are they still able to have their lessons with you at the moment?
Well, initially, I think that we all went into lockdown, mental lockdown as well as physical lockdown. I mean, for the first 3 weeks, I really did very little. I kept thinking that I was on this holiday, and I'd wake up one morning and everything was going to be fine and we'd just go back to normal.
Yeah.
And then this realization came that actually nothing was going to be going back to normal.
Yeah.
And I had contact with some of my students who, of course, weren't allowed into the academy. Oh, and the day lockdown happened was the day that we were going to start our showcase. And I got a WhatsApp from lots of the moms saying, how about the kids? There's this COVID thing. It's quite serious. What about singing on the mics? Oh, and the night before, we had just done a gig. We got ourselves ready. We've got this amazing band together. And we were getting ready for the International Jazz Festival. And we had done our sort of first gig, trying out all of this new material. And it was really exciting. And you know,
like that.
things were happening and it was great fun. And then lockdown happened and I started to have contact with the kids in the academy. And they were beside themselves. Their whole worlds had fallen apart. Their structures. You know, we teach children that you wake up in the morning, you have breakfast, you go to school, you come home, you do your homework, you live in a structured environment. And suddenly there was no structure to their days. And their teachers were sending them work and nobody was telling them what to do or how to learn it or what it even was. And so I thought they need some form of collaborative work that just says, hello, we're still out here. We're in a different place. We're on the other side of the screen.
We can still connect.
We're here.
Yeah. So you have actually decided to take your lessons online.
We're online. We're fully online. It's strange.
Yes.
The kids are on the other side of the screen and you can't touch and say, well, think of using your voice from here, or it's different.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that we'll work our way around helping go into this new process.
You know what, it's amazing that it can be done though, because I mean, I actually personally have some experience with this. I was in Germany on tour and I lost my voice completely, like I couldn't talk. And there was a vocal coach based in America who had extremely kind of high success rate with bringing lost voices back. But we had a very important gig and it was a showcase and everyone was panicking because I had no voice. And I jumped online and I had a vocal, I couldn't speak at all, but I had an interaction with him where he explained to me what to do and he explained the exercises that I needed to do to bring my voice back. And I did them for 2 days and it worked. And like, it was amazing because there he was in America, in LA, I was in Germany, and we had this concern. I didn't even need to be with him in person and we found a solution. So I think, you know, there is definitely still an effective way that you can, you know, hop online and do these lessons. And I think it's great that you guys have managed to get a setup that you can actually facilitate it. One question I have is with the music. How do you, so I know that you often have Johan Lars playing piano. How do you, how have you decided to look at the music side of it? Are you still managing to get the kind of backing music in, or are you just doing a cappella lessons mostly?
No, we're doing with tracks. So I've got Johan here. He's staying with us. He's been with us since the beginning of lockdown.
Oh, great.
So when we had to go online, and when we decided we were going to go online, we put all of our backtracks the readily available backtracks from the CDs that we've done into a catalogue of a repertoire. The kids can choose their song, and we send them their backtrack because, of course, we work to our geographies. And so they are in complete control. So their learning curve is exponential at the moment. They're learning how to be their own cameraman. For the COVID song, they learned how to write lyrics and how
They
to
can actually make music videos after this.
Absolutely. I mean,
that's great.
There's a growth going on here. So, and we're going to do a showcase, and you're going to help me with that, aren't you, Jules?
Are you doing a showcase online?
We're going to do a showcase online.
Tell me about that.
So we were one day off showcase, and I thought, why should all of this hard work that the kids have done go to waste?
Sure.
So Johan will do a piano track, and if he needs to enhance them in any way, he will enhance them. I'm in my studio. Can you see? We've got everything that we need to create whatever we want. We've got a full-on studio here. So if he needs to add strings or drums or whatever,
can be done. So are you going to be showcasing from the kids will come to the studio one by one and do their showcase? That's the kind of idea?
No, we're sticking to the rules. They are going to learn with us through the course of this term. I've recreated the term. Through the course of the term, they will learn how to do their phones or get their mums to help them. They will learn the light and shade and all the singing that they need to do for their tracks on their phones. And we'll stage and do all the rest of it. And then they will film themselves. We'll collate everything. And my poor brother will have to put the whole lot together.
And then you will live stream it.
We're going to sell tickets. We think we're going to do a Mr. Delivery to all the families who are watching so that everything goes out at the same time and all the families sit together and watch a showcase at the same time. Brilliant. With a menu and it's with them.
Even with food. So they'll get like a delivery of food as well. Duh, that's so clever. That's so clever. So how can, if there are any members of the public out there who would love to watch the upcoming singers of South Africa, the next generation, and would love to watch the showcase, how can they find out more about it and stay in touch with the Academy?
Well, they can go to my Facebook page, the Kim Kallie.
Yes, I think we've got it on the screen there. Facebook.com/Kim Kallie Academy, right? Yeah, and they can, and also if anyone is interested in joining in the lessons, joining in the showcase, jumping on into the curriculum, you can get in touch with Kim as well. She's a remarkable vocal coach, and will definitely put you in line vocally if you're not in line already. So do get in touch, support young and up and coming singers, because I think I was chatting to Ben about the other day. We are having to make a plan. We've obviously have an established career. We have a fan base, and we're having to make a plan by doing these live streams, selling merchandise, figuring out what the future looks like for us, because obviously all our gigs have been cancelled. And then my mind jumped to the new guys. Imagine you just starting your career now. And you've been thrown into this deep end. I honestly don't know how you would deal with it, and I think that as the public, we need to support the young up-and-coming artists more than ever.
I have a young student called Lebo who came in here. She was the understudy to the lead in The Color Purple. And she came here for weeks before getting ready. She actually got up to Joburg to start rehearsals for The Color Purple, and literally the day that they were starting, they cancelled everything. She's on a plane and she's back home, and what now? Yeah.
Oh, tragic. It's I think it's just something that we have to figure out as a society. The music industry, the entertainment industry, the hairdressing industry, anything that is social is obviously the hardest hit, and is going to need a lot of love, support, and attention from everyone. So I'm just encouraging anyone, if you're watching this, do get behind these young singers. Go and join the Facebook page. Find out when the showcase will be. Do you have a date set yet, Kim, or are you still working that out?
No, I really only had the courage to really formalize it yesterday and go, okay. I'm actually doing this. These kids need it.
Keep the eye on the page and support the kids. When the showcase does come out, I've been to a few of them. They're really fun and lovely to watch. These young rising stars, just giving it their all and expressing themselves through music. It's a beautiful thing. So do go, keep your eye on the page, and when the tickets are announced and the on sale date, please do buy a ticket and get your Mr. Delivery meal. I think that's cool. You know, I think everyone's so starved for entertainment right now that the thought of like dinner and a show at your house is something amazing. So I'm sure a lot of people will definitely jump on it. And we will also post a link in the Lucky Ones group when it is live. So thank you, Kim, very much for coming on the show. It's been lovely to chat to you.
I'm very proud of you and Ben, I must say. You're doing amazingly.
Thanks, Kimmy. Thank you so much. And we're very proud of you. You're doing amazingly too, and really navigating these uncharted waters like a boss. So well done. Sending you big love. That was Kim Kallie, everybody, live from Cape Town on in this Cape Town Magazine edition of the Lockdown, episode number 17. And please do go check out our Facebook page. Do support all of the kids who are upcoming through the ranks in music and, you know, wanting to start out a career. This is the most difficult time you could possibly start out a career. And there are a whole lot of young up-and-coming stars who need your support there. So do go support them. And speaking of young, fresh, and upcoming stars, I'm very, very excited because we have, I think we have a video of theirs first before, we have two guys who I watched live just before we went into lockdown. We had a gig in Newlands, and I knew their dad. I know their dad, Cedric Samson. He's a very accomplished musician, and I hadn't seen Cedric for a long time. And the next thing, we're playing a gig, and there are these two kids called the Samson Brothers who are opening for us. And I was like, Samson. Could that be Cedric? Any relation to Cedric? Yes, it's Cedric's two sons. And they got on the stage, and honestly proceeded to blow me away. I loved their show, loved it. It was incredible. And I thought to myself, when we decided we were going to do a music segment, I thought to myself, we have to get them on the show because they really are, you know, two guys who are starting out, well, they've been going for a little while, but they're kind of fresh on the scene, and, you know, they're just amazing. And I really do hope that this lockdown period is going to inspire them to just be better, and by the time we get out of it, that they're just going to be hitting all those stages across South Africa and across the world. But before we head to a little chat with them, we're just going to quickly show you a little video of the Samson Brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, on the lockdown, this is the Samson Brothers.
Just need a little time. There are better things to do for yourself when you stuck inside your busy mind. How do we like it? We don't like it dark. It's hard to keep it going when the venom gets strong. How does it make me feel? It makes me sad. So I am, but I will take you to the bright light to shine it over, take it away from the pain that I feel inside. So leave. You know that I will be okay. I just need a little time. There are better things, to do for yourself when you stuck inside your busy mind. How do we like it? We don't like it dark. It's hard to keep it going when the venom gets strong. doesn't make me feel, it makes me sad. It's who I am, but I will take it to the bright light. Bright lights is shining over, shining over. Take it away, take it away from the pain that I feel inside. Onto the bright light, bright lights is shining over me. It's shining over, take it away. Take it away from the pain that I feel inside.
Yo, it's crazy, man. How good is that? Cheapers, I'm completely blown away. I just, like, I told you they were talented. I told you. Just ridiculous, actually. On the line, we got Josh and Matt, I believe. Are you there, guys? Can you hear me? Oh, hello. Both of you.
How are you?
I think you need to sit a little closer together. Squash up, squash up, squash up. All right.
Punch up.
Cuddle each other. There
Josh
you go.
is too big, bro. No.
Okay, so Josh, you are closest to me, right, on the screen, and then Matt's further away.
Yes.
Okay, now
I'm
Josh, you're not even going to remember this. I met you once when you were probably about, like, I don't know, like not maybe 7 or 8 years old, and
No way.
you had like a big attitude. I'm not going to lie. I met you in the music store in Marshall Music, and I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And because I knew your dad, and I put my hand out. And you looked at me like this, and you like gave me a fist. You were like, I'm not shaking your hand, fist pump. I was like, okay.
He was yanking to 50
sorry
cents.
about that. I'm sorry. You know, when I was a little kid, I listened to way too much rap music and hip hop. I think I thought I was something else.
Super gangster. You were super gangster. I got that vibe. Oh no, it's very cute.
Yo, of course.
Yo, that's great.
Well, it's nice to see you again, Jules.
Nice to see you too. It's been a while. Listen, guys, can I just say your show that we played with you in Newlands? Like, I know it was like, a while ago now, actually, and I just wanted to say you blew me away. I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously, I know your dad is a very talented man, and I knew that you were both into music, but I didn't realize how far you guys had come. And your live show is phenomenal, and your music is phenomenal. And I just want to say, I know that COVID-19 is sort of spanning everyone's works, but you have a bright, bright future ahead of you guys, I think. So
Thank you so much.
That means a lot.
I really appreciate
Coming
that.
from you guys, yeah.
Bless you for that, Jules.
Tell me quickly, how did it all start out for the two of you? Where have you come from in the last? How long has it been going for? How did it start, and where are we at the moment?
You want to take this?
Yeah, I'll take it, bro.
So basically, Josh and I only got back together in April of 2018. When I was 21, I left South Africa.
Yeah.
And I went overseas to pay my dues and do my 10,000 hours on the cover scene.
Phineas.
Right? And
yeah.
And then shortly after that, the person I was with, the partner that I was with, we became the first South African musicians to work for Disney on their cruise ships.
Wow.
So I worked for Disney 5.5 years. And I had to do that because, that's what life called for. And Josh was in school, and I always had the dream of playing with Josh. And then I went to California when I left Disney at the beginning of 2018, and I met up with a friend of my dad's in California, and he asked me, like, what's your dream? What do you want out of this life?
Yeah.
And I said, I want to play in a band with my brother.
Oh, that's so cool.
And he was like, do you have any music? And I was like, I'd just started learning Ableton and working on Ableton and stuff, and I had a demo. 2 demos.
Yeah.
And I played it for him, and he was like, so like, do you have money? And I was like, yo, I got some money saved. And he's like, okay, cool. Fly your brother up here. We're gonna build a studio.
Wow.
And we're gonna get this going. So in 2018, Josh flew up to California, and we spent a whole year there playing and trying to find each other and find our sound. And then we came back to South Africa at the end of the year, and you know, ever since then we've just been working hard and working on our sound. And it's quite interesting where it's come to now, because we've kind of really come back to our roots on the 2 acoustic guitars. Because I'm sure you know these people, but probably the most influential musicians in our life were Rory and Chad.
Dude, it's so funny you said that, because when you were playing, there was an element of Plush just like coming through for me completely.
Thank you. That's true.
I thought it I felt it in the energy. You know, I know obviously you're completely different and you have your own sound, and but yeah, there's like a throwback to that nostalgia that's so wonderful for so many people. And look, I think you guys are really well positioned coming out of the lockdown, even during the lockdown, you know, to win people's hearts and minds. And because you know, there's a lot of reawakening of humans' psyche and realization that we've become a little bit cookie cutter, you know, in our approach to a lot of things. And I think your music, it's got soul, it's got realness. And what's really cool about that is that right now you guys must use this opportunity that you have, you know, to just get under everybody's skin as much as you can, you know, because I think you got it. You got something great. And I watch your space, guys. I'll say it now on this show. You can come, and one day I'll play this clip. These guys are going to be a big deal. I'm telling you.
Thank you, Jules.
Thank you, Jules.
Fucking amazing.
And Josh writes the song, dude.
Yeah,
really?
we're slowly working towards a new sound towards the end of the year. But I really appreciate what you're saying. I think acoustic music is always something beautiful. You can tell so many great stories with it, and it's our roots, you know. And I know, like, as a singer and a songwriter, like, it's the most beautiful thing to play with my brother and to have that connection still, not worry about technology all the time. Just kind of put your 2 guitars out and show everyone what you really love doing. And in this time of lockdown, you know, I think it's important to share that love. So I really thank you so much for acknowledging that and giving us this time, you know.
From one drummer to another, he's got a question here for you. Are you going to ask?
Yes.
Well, Ben wants me to ask you. He knows that you're a really good drummer, and you know, how did it feel to transition from drums to guitar, and when did you make that shift? And vocals. I mean, we didn't know you could sing. We knew you could drum really well, but when did you make that shift?
Oh, thanks, guys. You know, so when I turned 16, I decided to put my sticks down for a couple of years. I didn't want to play drums anymore. I kind of took a break, and I started using my rhythm understanding on the way I play guitar. And I actually learned it from Alt J, Tessellate, that song. I heard Tessellate from Alt J, and I was like, dude, I really like this song. It was the first song I learned on guitar, just those dum 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 dum. So I was like, okay, cool, I want to learn that. Then Matty Sam came home and he gave me a guitar, and he was like, brother, here's the basics of it. Now I'm going back to work on the ships. Here's what I've given you to learn. Go and learn it. So I got a year. I learned guitar, and then from guitar grew to congas, then grew to a bit of piano. So it kind of just started like that. And my vocals, when I started singing it, I was about 11, and I just started growing, and I was a bit shy. You know, I didn't want to sing for anybody, and then I realized this is what I want to do. So I kind of migrated from the rhythm of drums back to guitar, but now I'm back to drums, and I'm super stoked to be on them. And I
mean, are you producing it all? Because I mean, it sounds like you're so multi-instrumentalist now. That I mean, so much of a multi-instrumentalist that production and actually like bringing everything together could be something that you might be doing.
Yeah, we 100%. Like, cause I play the bass and the guitar, and we kind of switch out, and Josh plays the moog. But I have a huge passion for frequency and mixing,
sound design as well.
And I master music now. I had the privilege of being in California and being taught by a guy named Gavin Lurson how to master music.
Awesome.
Like master people for Spotify, iTunes, or whatever. But I mean, anyone can do that now in the box.
Okay,
you know?
so Matt is kind of focusing a little bit more on the like in the box production-y. Well, I suppose you both are, and you both just kind of whoever. I mean, just how talented these guys are, guys. They can just pick up anything and just play, and that's like that's more than 10,000 hours.
You know, I think you said it earlier, like the whole cookie cutter thing, trying to write songs for radio and trying to write songs for the masses. It's very difficult, you know, especially I think when you when you're working in your own little space at your home and you're trying to create a sound that is appealing to a lot of people. And I think Maddie and I got lost in the sense where we had started to make music like that, but didn't stick true to this thing, the roots of playing an acoustic guitar, you know.
What you love, yeah. Oh, goosebumps.
And now, like I went away for 6 weeks, and I got the loop station, and I started playing again. And Maddie and I've got a new sound that we want to work on, and it's definitely going to migrate. So please stay tuned for the end of the year. And
guys,
it's definitely plush. Like
orientated, like Chazzy would.
You know what I would love to do? I'd love to have a jam session with you guys and Rory in our studio. So when the lockdown eases up a bit, maybe level 3 or something, it would be nice to just hang out and just create. Because I think I'm excited about what you guys are doing. I think it's really just.
Thank you.
It's very cool, guys. So you must go check them out, Samson Brothers.
Please say, like, we are extremely proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Your success. And like how well you're well known around this globe, you know? It's amazing.
I've obviously found my passion for dance music, or electronic music, but the big thing that we've tried to do that I think resonates with what you guys are trying to do. I've always tried to keep storytelling at the front and center of what we're doing within electronic music, because it is a very copy-paste genre if you're not careful, you know, and everyone's trying to sound like everyone else. But if you can marry like a good song, because you can never, this is Ben's favorite saying, you can never polish a turd, right? So if you've got a good song and it's like the raw meat and bones of it is good, no matter what format you put it into, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's just having that.
Yeah, he's a fantastic producer as well.
He is. He's very creative. He's crazy. I don't understand the way his brain works, but it's great. It's great. It'll be really nice to get into studio with you guys, and man, just thank you so much for sharing your craft with us and for coming on the show today. I'm a big fan. I will definitely be at the first gig that you guys play out of this situation, out of lockdown. Last question before we go: have you guys managed to keep creative, and have you managed to make use of this time?
Yeah, 100%.
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. We've made the most out of it, and like you say, if you just keep writing and you keep working on something, you know, it's consistency, and consistency hopefully produces success. And same goes for you, Jules. Like, it'd be awesome to sit down one day and make a couple of songs, or just get in the rhythm together where we're in a space and we can play and share ideas, you know. That's
totally.
what we do best.
One of my big goals when the band lifts a little bit is creating more of a culture of songwriters in South Africa, because, you know, we always have to go overseas to go do songwriting camps and go and work with other writers who have a career in this. You know, it's literally all they do. They don't same like what you guys had to go to LA. You know, there is this openness, and there are people that you can go and work with on a day session for the whole day, and literally that's their job. Yeah. They don't have any other job, and the culture in this country is not quite there yet. So I'm hoping to help. You can help me create that culture a bit more. That's
a very good. That's an extremely good point, because everyone in the States, it's all about sharing the knowledge and sharing the content together, and that's something we need to build here.
Yeah,
you're so right.
Very true. Yeah?
I agree, because there's a lot of good songwriters here, man. You know?
Yeah, they are, absolutely. Well, guys, listen, it's been amazing having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on. If anyone wants to follow you, where can they find you?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Now we're on TikTok.
On TikTok, we're all on TikTok. Samson Brothers.
On Spotify, iTunes.
iTunes, Spotify. If you guys go check them out on Instagram, probably they can link from there at Samson Brothers on all the different platforms. I have also tagged them in the comments, so please go check them out, guys. Like their page, like everything they're doing. Follow them on Spotify. Do your thing. I promise you guys will be the trendsetters with this band.
Lots of love, eh?
Lots of love, guys. We'll be in touch. That was the Samson Brothers, Nat and Josh. The biggest legends. It's so nice to have them on the show. Guys, we're running out of time, so I'm going to be quick with the next one. If you want to get your masks, you can get your masks. Just check our link tree. We'll take you to all of the different things. You can either go stream our brand new single, and our brand new single that is coming up. We're going to quickly play you, I think, a snippet. It's launched today. It's #1 on Spotify. Can you believe it? We are the front faces of the Spotify New Music Friday today. And this, if you haven't checked it out yet, is our new single. It's called Rum and Cola. We're going to play a little snippet. Here's a taster for you. hear more of that song, you can just head over to our Spotify or head over to any of your streaming platforms, Apple Music, Deezer, whatever, Jukes. It's out live today, guys. Collaboration between us and Kava from the Netherlands. I'm very excited about this one. People are going a bit crazy about it, actually. I think we need a bit of an excuse to dance and have fun. So please, if you like it, share it, put it on your Instagram stories, do all of the things you need to do to get it out to the world. We'd be very grateful, because the more you share music, the further it goes and the further it reaches. And speaking of sharing things, we had a couple of you send us some WhatsApp shout-out videos on the WhatsApp line on our band phone number, and we want to play you a few of those. These are the band phone community coming at you from the lockdown.
Hi, my name is Kallie Blake, and I'm currently in matric at Wynberg Girls High School. I'm also the president of our school's Intact Club. Intact is a community service club that's focused on helping the Greats community as well as assisting certain organizations whenever it's needed. So we were trying to figure out a way to make a positive difference during this time in our community. And I was scrolling through Facebook one night when I saw a post shared by Juliet from GoodLuck. And it was basically a woman named Annette van den Berg sharing a post about how she is working with an organization called Where Rainbows Meet, who are helping to feed members of the Vrygrond and Capricorn area. And she was asking for donations of either soup or soup ingredients. And I thought it was a really wonderful way for us to get involved and do something hands-on during this time. And our school has a connection with the primary school in that area, as we usually make sandwiches for them on a Thursday morning. So I thought this was a really, really incredible way to help out. I contacted my committee and they were more than happy to start up the initiative, and we got a few volunteers to make soup. We encouraged them to practice extremely good hygiene while preparing the soup. And members from the Where Rainbows Meet organization who have the necessary permits to drive around during lockdown came to fetch it from our houses. We are currently working on continuing that, as it was really successful, but at the moment we have a few members who are doing their own work, such as Milalaat, who got a whole community to basically make sandwiches every Friday, and she's communicating with Where Rainbows Meet so they can come collect those sandwiches and pots of soup. So yeah, we're really happy to be involved with the community and helping during this time. And we hope to do as much as we can and make a positive difference.
Oh, thank you so much. That's incredible. It's so good to see the joy and the love spreading around. You know, I think the fact that we can put out a message and a call and there can be a reaction and a positive ripple and a wave that can go, you know, that's an amazing thing. And we have another couple of quick fan videos for you guys. This came in on our WhatsApp line.
Hey Jules and Ben, just a shout out from us here at Fame. Thank you to you and all the other musicians taking initiative, making the best of this time and actually giving back to communities. You guys keep us all motivated. Thank you. Good luck.
Hey, it's Sienna Shank, and I would like to send a shout out to my family and my close friends. You know who you are. Love you guys.
Shout out to the matrics of 2020. Guys, I know it's a difficult year, but we're all in the same boat. We're all in this together. It's not just you. Stay positive, stay focused, stay dedicated. Do as much as you can. I know you got this. You're super, super strong.
Thank you so much to all of those beautiful people who sent us a lovely shout out. Really, really appreciate it, guys. If you want to get in touch, if you want to have your video played on the show, you can just drop us a WhatsApp to our phone number. It's coming up on the screen now. It's 071 447 0333. Add us on WhatsApp, send us your video, and yeah, you might have something inspiring you want to say. You might want to send a shout out to a friend or family member. Do it. Remember, you guys, you can also get your lovely Good Luck mask. We've got the rose gold edition that's been launched now, as well as the camo edition that's been launched. And we are also still raising money for the COVID-19 situation in Vrygrond. So please, you can donate to our charity as well. We are sitting at, I think, just over R500,000 collected, and we are getting that money out. We're spending on food supplies that are going out to feeding lots of hungry people, over 5,000 per day at the moment, guys, thanks to you and all your generous donations. I think we're going to be finishing the show now, wrapping it up with our tiki-talkies of the day. Sorry we've gone a little bit over time, but we had a lot to say today. Guys, it's Friday. It's going to be an amazing weekend, so hopefully you guys are going to be creative with your tiki-talkies and we can add them to the show as well. This is our wrap-up, our favorite tiki-talkies of the week. Are you ready? Are you steady? Let's go!
They say if you put your shoe size and add 2 zeros, minus the year you were born, plus the year you're on, you should get this number, and the last 2 digits is your age or how old you should be turning this year.
I don't believe that. I'm going to try it. I don't believe that for a second. I'm going to try it just now. Anyway, guys, listen, have a wonderful, 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 wonderful Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Next week, we have got some incredible guests coming on the show. Stay tuned to all our social media platforms to see who's coming up. We're going to be posting a little advert as well on our Lucky Ones group. If you haven't joined the Lucky Ones group, go click on the link in the comment section. Join the group because that's where we're putting all the upcoming guests so you can see who's going to be on the lineup. Taking any suggestions from you guys for any small businesses we should feature or celebrities you'd like to see live that we should reach out to. It's a community for us to chat. And then also anything Good Luck related, like new music coming out, sneak previews, it's all on the Lucky Ones. So make sure you join the Lucky Ones and become one of the Lucky Ones. Go hit it up now. Shout out to Cape Town Magazine, Kapstad Magazine, Punt.nl. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's been really cool to co-host this with you. They are the biggest Cape Town Magazine across the world, and we're very, very honored to be living in your magical city. So in case you didn't know, we are the Lockdown, we're Good Luck, and we're wishing you a very happy Friday. Till next time, everybody love everybody, look after yourself, look after each other, take care, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and good luck. Look at